Okay, so I'm going to try and do this video. This is a rather crucial video because this is the video about my death. In 1992, someone declared me dead in the system, in the credit system, in the bureau, TransUnion, Equifax, all these credit bureaus declared me dead. I don't understand why. I didn't know, actually, for 3 years until 1995. Because from 92 to 95, I didn't have an employer who required to do a credit check. I didn't have a landlord who required me to do a credit check. I didn't have a bank account. Whenever I worked for the state of Oregon or for my employer, I just took that check and went straight to the U.S. bank and cashed it right off that person's account. I didn't need to have a bank account. All I needed was an ID. That's the way it was back in the day. But in 95, I walked into the U.S. bank for the first time with like $4,000 and wanted to make a deposit into a bank account that I wanted to start. And the little girl at the U.S. bank, the woman there said, "Can I have your social security number?" And I said, "Sure, here's my social security number." And she goes, looks at me, "Can I have your number again?" I said, "Sure." She goes, "Can I have it one more time?" I said, "Sure." She goes, "Well, we can't open a bank account for you." And I said, "Why?" "Well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but your account says that you're dead. You're accessing a dead person's account." And I was like, "What? Oh my God." So for the next 2 years of my life, from 1995 to 1997, I spent correcting that problem. And I didn't really understand who that person was who did that to me, but we're pretty sure that it was Ty Alavizos, because he's the only person who's had an obsessive compulsive disorder all these years, and who's actually a hacker enough back in the day to go in and actually manipulate the Social Security Administration and the credit system to the point where you could declare somebody dead. If you don't believe me, all you need to do is go to federal court in Portland, Oregon, and file the case. Actually, it's online too. I had to sue the credit report companies for declaring me dead. As part of the deal, they told me who did it. Well, partially, because we only got to trail back all the way to the Social Security Administration, where a guy named Ted Jensen told me there was a master death file. And actually, that's when he told me that nobody's actually required to have a Social Security number. And actually, the Social Security Administration is not part of the federal government. And actually, the Social Security number that most people have is invalid because the Social Security number represents a contract. And in order to have a valid contract, you have to have a couple things. You have to be of legal age, for example. You can't be a baby in a hospital being given a Social Security number without your knowledge. You have to agree to have that number. So almost every single Social Security number in the United States right now is invalid, and nobody needs to pay into Social Security if they don't want to. They just need to go file a lawsuit. Now, getting back to my untimely death, I'm probably the only person in the whole world that I can actually say this and have it mean something. My death was the obstacle to my life. And actually, we're pretty sure, like I said, that it was little Teddy Ty Alavizos, a little obsessive, compulsive, bipolar, schizophrenic freak who hacked into the system and actually declared me dead. We're not sure, me and my friends, but we're pretty sure. We've eliminated almost all possibilities except for Teddy. And now Teddy's hacked me for 9 years, so he's the number one suspect in all of it. But when you go to such lengths to declare somebody dead, you can't be working alone. And you have to be part of a secret society. And why would anybody care about me? I was always told my whole life, "You're nobody, you're not important." My brothers always told me, "You're not important, nobody cares about you." My ex-wife from Oregon, Sarah Lilligard, told me, "Nobody cares about you, you're not important." Oh yeah, nobody cares about me, I'm not important, but I'm not important enough to declare me dead, right? Go figure. So now we're at this point where maybe I am that important. And maybe there was a large problem happening that shouldn't have happened. And anyway, that's the story about how I was declared dead in 1992. And from 1992 to 1995, I was actually officially declared dead by the federal government. And actually, that would make me one of the only candidates to run for governor of Oregon in the whole country, to actually run for governor in 1994 as a dead man, officially declared dead. And actually have a letter from Bill Clinton with my birth date on that letterhead. He sent it to me on my birth date while I was still dead. How is it that the president sends a letter to a dead man? Go figure. Now, I needed to get that one done because you can't just go declaring somebody dead in the credit world and not have me mention it on YouTube. And especially when I went to the media and asked them to report this, they refused. How do you figure that the media wouldn't report about my death? And to date, I have only met one other person in my whole life that was declared dead and wasn't really dead. And she was an earth firster. And that gets me to my next video after this one, which is how to change the world in 3 days. You're going to love it.